Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture. We have just left the post-media scrum for Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor, and we're here to bring you some breaking news following the pay-per-view, and that is that Samoa Joe is back in Ring of Honor, and simultaneously, he is also All Elite. It followed a very enjoyable, very eventful Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. The main event in particular saw lots of stuff happening, basically. It was Jonathan Gresham versus Bandido for the undisputed Ring of Honor World title. It featured Chavo Guerrero getting banished by his own wrestler for trying to cheat. And then eventually Gresham won the match with some spectacular near falls, in fact, near the end there. But we saw eventually him to pin Bandido and be crowned the unified and the undisputed, I suppose, Ring of Honor World Champion. Post-match, we are supposed to hear from Gresham. He's interrupted by Jay Lethal, who earlier on had presumably pulled off a heel turn, low-blowing Lee Moriarty to gain victory in that match. He confronted Gresham, he challenged Gresham, and then he attacked Gresham with the help of Sonjay Dutt. Lee Moriarty tried to make the save, but was still suffering from injuries from earlier on in the night. And then Samoa Joe made his dramatic return. Tony Khan had promised something big after the final match, and my God, did he deliver. The roof nearly came off the Curtis Culwell Centre here. But it was a very enjoyable night as well. 4 new champions crowned as on top of Gresham being crowned the undisputed Ring of Honor World Champion. We had the match that makes my voice seem a lot more understandable, and that was the tag team title match between FTR and the Briscoes. We were in the post-media scrum I just mentioned there, and it's not verbatim this, but I'm fairly certain Dax basically said that they beat the respect into each other. This match is a match of the year contender in my opinion, and many of others have said the same on social media. The fact that the roof nearly came off earlier on because of a lockup in the match, it kind of tells you all that you need to know. In the end, after a just sensational tag team title match with chance for tag team wrestling in amongst everything else, and well, some anti-WrestleMania chances in there as well, let's just say. FTR defeated the Briscoes, hitting them with the big rig to gain the victory and become the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Then there was a lovely show of respect, as I mentioned, between the two fierce rivals as they have been in the build to this. And then a post-match attack from none other than those Gits, the Young Bucks. And surreally, considering what we've seen in the build to this, as I said, the Briscoes being saved by FTR. It was an insane sight to see, and now we're getting Bucks FTR 2 for the AAA tag titles on Dynamite this coming week, I believe. Elsewhere, in terms of title switches, I should mention Wheeler Yuta is the Ring of Honor Pure Champion. He defeated Josh Woods. Minoru Suzuki, he managed to defeat Rhett Titus to become Ring of Honor TV Champion, and Tony Khan in the post-media scrum reminded us that is, am I right in thinking this, Hamlet? That it was Suzuki's first US title. That's incredible. And Mercedes Martinez is the interim women's champion. She will face Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna obviously had pre-organised commitments out elsewhere other than tonight, so instead it was Mercedes Martinez who submitted Willow Nightingale. And in other big news from tonight, they just keep on coming, Brian Cage made a dramatic return to the ring. He was the mystery opponent that Ninja Jack was going to face, and he is now a part, 1/3 of Tully Blanchard Enterprises, or the 3 giant bastards that Tully Blanchard now represents. And yes, Brian Cage, as you can probably expect if you're putting those two things together in your hand, Brian Cage, Ninja Mac, just murdered him. And I want to give a shout out as well to one of my new best friends following Wale Mania, Swerve. He had a sensational opener against Alex Zane there, but yeah, the big story from tonight, as I said, is Samoa Joe is All Elite. You've probably already seen the graphic on social media, and he's back home in Ring of Honor. He was spoken about by the new world champion, Jonathan Gresham, who also seemed to set his sights, by the way, on CM Punk and Bryan Danielson for the disrespect he perceives that they have or had put out previously towards Ring of Honor. And then when Samoa Joe came into the post-show media scrum, the mood kind of changed. He dealt with some of the questions about his departure from WWE, about, being back where he belongs in Ring of Honor. And then when the question came about what he's going to do here, it was actually quite a light-hearted question about the fact that he has kind of skills that work everywhere, whether that be, behind the scenes, whether it be just as a commentator or, match producer, whatever it may be, or whether he wants to step back between the ropes. He suggested that he was fully healed up. He was ready to get back in the ring and kind of put everyone on notice. He said that he wanted world titles. That could be in Ring of Honor or in AEW. But he basically said, when asked about who he wants to face, he'll take on anyone. He will kind of set the record straight. He wants to face people who feel like they represent AEW, feel like they are the face of the company, and he said he would put them in their place. And the mood, as I said, changed. The air seemed to change in the room, because this is the Samoa Joe of old, it feels like. And we glanced as we were walking through the media area backstage and saw him interacting with some of the rest of the talent on this show. And it was friendly, but it was also incredibly respectful as well. Look, Samoa Joe has had a roller coaster of 12, 18 months, 2 years, you could even argue. But now he just feels like he's settled in the right place. There was a whole load of speculation as to what this final surprise was going to be. But my God, did it deliver. Like I said, I mean, there was no one going anywhere after that main event, and certainly no one really wanting to leave anywhere either after a match of the year contender, as I said, between FTR and the Briscoes. But when Samoa Joe's music hit, when he walked out in that gear of his, with that towel over his head and make that statement, walking down to the ring and, trying to get his hands on Jay Lethal, mainly getting his hands on Sonjay Dutt, it really was a flashback to the Samoa Joe of old. Samoa Joe back in Ring of Honor, and now also All Elite. The world seemingly is his oyster. Let us know your thoughts on this news and the dream matches that you'd like to see. Fantastic to be able to fantasy book dream matches with Samoa Joe once more. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from. We'll be discussing this, no doubt, in the days to come, and you can read more about it and the events of tonight at WhatCulture.com. Don't forget that. You can follow me on social media at Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, of course. But yes, the big breaking news in terms of what went down at the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. On the one hand, we had a match of the year candidate between FTR and the Briscoes. On the other, Jonathan Gresham is your unified Ring of Honor World Champion. But most importantly, Samoa Joe is back where he belongs. He is back in Ring of Honor, and he is All Elite.